Welcome back to Yes to Tesla. Today we're going to be talking about how Cybercab has been approved on a certification based to be able to go to Nevada. Now that's pretty crazy, okay? It's rolling out across the nation pretty fast in my opinion because they just barely started this, they barely got it out, and all of a sudden they're here. So let's go ahead and read what this report says. It says, recent reporting indicates that Tesla Cybercab has received certification for testing and operating in Nevada. Though it's not yet fully approved to offer public taxi services, this development is significant because Nevada was one of the first states to embrace autonomous vehicles and has a relatively permissive regulatory framework. Now, just based off of that right there, you gotta understand this is where the Boring Company was drilling all those tunnels under Vegas and using the Model Ys and I think even a Model X as well. But mainly the Model Ys to drive those tunnels to take you from one end of the strip to the other end of the strip to alleviate traffic, which is a highly necessary thing if you've ever been to Vegas. So I feel like this coming out right here, in a union-based state. Let me just make sure of that real quick. Hold on. Pretty sure Nevada is a union-based state. Yes. Okay. So they've been there since 1864. It's the 36th state on October 31st, which is Halloween, 1864, to be accepted as a union-based state. That means it's for the people, 100%. So all those taxi drivers, all those people who are doing Lyft and Uber, when these cars get released, it'll be just like what the taxis were trying to do to Uber and Lyft drivers, but now to a driverless driving car. And no more will it be, oh, my cab driver left me off here, or he wouldn't let me out, or he kept driving, he missed my turn, he took me there, he took me here. All that will go away. And that's really their own fault when it comes down to that aspect of it. But when it comes down to Cybercab taking over, I'm telling you, there's a lot of jobs about to be alleviated from their positions when it comes down to driving jobs, as well as warehouse jobs. Whenever you get these autonomous robots out there as well, it's going to be crazy. Sure, it's exciting to watch live or like, wow, but also it's a little scary for anyone that's in those fields. Now, obviously, I'm in one of those fields because I drive a lot, right? I'm not a taxi driver or anything, but still. My God, let's read a little bit more for this report. It says, self-certification for operation on September 10th, 2025. An application from Tesla for a testing registry certification was approved by Nevada's DMV's Office of Business Licensing team. Autonomous license plates and registry certificates were subsequently issued. This allows Tesla to operate and test its autonomous vehicles on public roads in the state. Now, before they're able to do the taxi-based service, like launch Robotaxi officially, it must complete a separate self-certification for operations process. Tesla's already been through the process in other cities, such as Austin, Texas, which suggests that Nevada approval should not be difficult to obtain. So that means they're almost guaranteed to get this. Now, we're talking about autonomous vehicles, so if it's talking about how it is in Austin, that means there's going to be a person in the front seat, but not a person in the driver's seat, and it's just going to be driving itself. And I don't know, I feel like with Vegas, I mean, it's probably going to start somewhere smaller in Nevada, maybe like Reno, but if they're talking about launching this in Vegas first, then they really need to get this dialed in, because there's a lot of people on the strip. There's a lot of cars, there's a lot of traffic, there's a lot of variables. I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't be a good thing to launch it there, even though that's where the majority of these taxis are, as well as that airport taking them there. That's a lot of people going to and fro. So I'm just saying, like, it just seems like anything that can and will go wrong, those areas would probably be the most problematic. It sounds exciting though, but I really hope everything goes off without a hitch when it comes down to that, because there's a lot of things that could really realistically go bad. You know, it could go bad. It could go really bad, okay? Now, I'm in Arizona, since that's been approved almost fully in Nevada, I feel like Arizona is literally next on the list. There's a lot of straight roads out here. There's a lot less things that could go wrong here, but there are a lot of jaywalkers here, and that's why Uber didn't work out. Uber, with their kind of LiDAR situation, they actually ended up killing a homeless person because of the fact that that person was crossing in a very dark area, and the car, I don't think it could have stopped without hitting the person, but it's the fact that it didn't stop at all. It didn't disengage. It didn't do nothing. It just plowed right through them. And with the Uber ones, there was always a person in the driver's seat. But this is Arizona. We get sidetracked really, really quickly. So I feel like what was happening was she was doing work on the computer or doing something over here, and all of a sudden, boom, just ran through somebody. It's like, oh my God, and then she had to stop it. And it's crazy because that must be a terrifying situation for the person driving, especially. And that same thing could happen anywhere with dark alleys and dark places. Because what I noticed when I'm driving my Tesla, especially last night, I was not in the middle of nowhere, but there was no street lights. It was like basically the middle of nowhere. And on the screen, it always says that the cameras are degraded or unable to see. And it's because it's so dark outside. I'll have the things that already, this car is always clean. I clean this all the time, hand wash it. And the first time it happened, I got out of the car and actually like sprayed it up. I sprayed all the cameras just to make sure. Then I got the driving right down the road, and it says multiple cameras are now still blocked. And it's because it was too dark. And I'm looking at the actual screen where it shows your car going straight down the road, and the road is going like this, just all over the place. And it's because they can't see. With LiDAR, you don't need the lights on to see. You'll be able to see through the vision. Like it's like having night vision essentially. And I feel like Tesla needs something of that nature because it does get dark. There's a lot of back roads, and unless you're only going to be traveling in the city, then okay. But I think there's still something that needs to go on because of the fact that when it rains really bad, all the rain is all over that back camera. So if it's going to be backing out, it's not going to be able to see through the camera, and it's just going to just sit there and try and back up, and it'll just sit there, you know. I've seen it do it live, so it's insane. So hopefully they get this dialed in. Hopefully they get it done because it's a very exciting future that's on the way. It's just not exciting for me because I like driving. So, okay. Also, if you guys are looking to buy your own brand new or used Tesla, please use our link down below. It really helps out the channel, but it helps you out with your purchase. Thank you and have a good day.